I got 4 new followers from that live. Oh, you're muted, by the way, and your phone is in front of me. Figured you knew that, but I figured I'd tell you anyway. Ooh! Amber got a special edition for a Polycon. It looks really good. If you're talking to me, you're still muted.
Just hold on.
Okay.
Alexa off. Okay. I think my audio is working. I will be pausing, saying goodbye, and goodbye. Okay, now I'm all set up. Okay, that just took me like 20 minutes. It's fine.
Hi.
Hi, love.
How are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm tired.
Avery informed me on the,
Who?
you.
I am Avery.
Yes, we are live right now.
Oh, okay. Hi, friends.
Avery informed me on the TikTok live that it has been 5 months.
It has.
Since we've done this, which I did not realize.
Yeah. Why am I little tiny on my end? I know I'm not on your end, probably. It's just me.
Oh, is it your view?
There we go. I fixed it.
Oh, okay. I was like, it must be
It's
your
from
view.
last night.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, well.
Can we just appreciate the new shelves really quick?
Your shelves look amazing, so we need to call it out.
That took so long. The entire top row is Sarah J. Maas.
Quick updates on us really quick before we do this. So Avery got a 3rd bookshelf, which she desperately needed, so we're very proud of her.
Desperately needed. For free. Can I just say
I didn't know that.
It was, she said it was for free, so I said show.
Where'd you get it from?
So, my hairstylist.
Oh, okay.
Is who I purchased the first 2 shelves from. So I had the one closest to the brick fireplace and then the one closest to me already. And my TV used to sit between them. And then she just got new. You're good. She just got new. Sorry, my brain. Me and my ADD today are just going at it. She just got new shelving for all of her shampoos and dyes and things like that.
Oh, yeah.
So she was like, hey, she texted me like early January and was like, hey, if I can give this to you, does it have a home? And I was like, it absolutely has a home. Like, yes. And so my brother and I went and picked it up on Tuesday.
By the way, I'm just now realizing, sorry, while Avery was telling me the story about her bookshelves, which, by the way, I watched her set this up. I just want to quickly shout out Avery and her mom for actually taking the effort to not only take all the books off the bookshelf, but she also, like, organized them. Do you know that where you guys can't really see it? You kind of can. Please don't look too closely. This has been like this for 5 months. Like, I have not updated my shelves, and Avery did it so quick.
I can point it out to you. So this is all Sarah J. Maas. Over here is A Shadow in the Ember from Blood and Ash.
Yeah.
And then like witch stuff.
Yeah.
Middle shelf right here in the top is mythology. You can see Lore Olympus.
Yeah.
And all of my research books for Sarah J. Maas and theory spiraling. And then all of this right here is called TikTok Maybe Buy It. So it's like the Folk of the Air series, the Red Queen series, Shadow and Bone, you know.
Yeah.
Then down here is a whole bunch more of TikTok Maybe Buy It. You can see Priory of the Orange Tree.
Yep.
Just chilling. And then from about here to this glove set here is Contemporary Romance. And then from the glove set to the fireplace is what I have lovingly referred to as It's Gay and It Slaps.
That's my favorite part of Avery's bookshelf. I just want to point that out. It's gay and it slaps always makes me laugh. I'm like, I love that you have that on your bookshelf. Like, it's adorable. Okay, so number one, while Avery's saying this,
eventually,
I was dying laughing because I only saw 3 comments, realized I was looking at the wrong thing. So now I see all the comments. I'm like, oh, okay. So someone said I have paperwork and wine. I love that. Hi, Avery and Sarah. Hi, Katie. By the way, for those of you that don't know in the Discord, Katie, this is her first Theory Thursday she's allowed to attend because she finished HOSAB last night. So she now understands that we aren't just psychotic. We are, but we are actually like basing this on real stuff. So this is kind of fun for her. Okay, Team Mort was supposed to be on the last one, but got canceled for some reason. I forgot. I think so. Here, just a quick mass read along update because some people asked about this. Woo! Sorry, we're gonna take like 5 minutes. We'll dive into the theory stuff in a few.
Oh, so, trust me, we've got shit to talk about, people.
Yeah. So the mass read along is obviously, it was a big project. We knew this was going to be a big project. And in August when we started it, we were doing okay. We were doing good.
So Throne of Glass was a book every 2 weeks.
Yes. So we were doing pretty good.
Once we got into the thicker books, it got harder. And we got busier.
The books got harder. I felt like for anyone who doesn't know, this is my second time doing a major deep dive with Throne of Glass. And I wanted to pull my hair out towards the end because I was so done with this. So we basically had to take a month off. We also had to stop Theory Thursday because we did not have time to do anything. I mean, I would come home from work, Avery and I would be working on the notes until midnight, and then I would go to bed and we would do the whole thing over again for 7 days a week. Like, it was hard.
I'm also just going to throw in there that my job is different than Sarah's, but still, they're both incredibly difficult. But mine is very people oriented. It is very forward facing. And I am an introvert. So I had run my social battery way down.
So Avery and I have very similar jobs, but very different. So Avery's job is physically forward facing. My job is digitally forward facing all the time. So Avery has to deal with, I would say, if not thousands, a few hundred people at some of these events.
Yeah. I mean, the most we get is probably for our fall festival, and we get 10 to 15,000 people who come through the city over the course of 2 days.
Yep. And then my job requires me to interact with about 8 to I'm not joking when I say 3 million men on a daily basis. Usually it's closer to the 10,000. So when we tell you we're tired, we're being serious. So
usually when I'm dealing with the people, they're drunk.
Same. So it's yeah. So we both love our jobs, but it's just our way of saying, we love you guys, but we needed to take some steps back. So what has happened is we are taking a lot of precautions for the Acotar side of things. So we've moved it to 1 book a month. We are also, for those that don't know, the realm in itself, it takes a lot of time and energy to set up. I think once a month, I probably sit for about 8-9 hours in one day and set everything up. So it does require a lot of management, which is why we have a team of 11 amazing court members.
Yes, they love us dearly.
They're amazing. So Avery is going to really take the reins on the Acotar side, so I can then work a lot on the realm stuff, which is kind of where I love to do, but I also love to do the theory stuff. So this is a long way of us saying we get to do Theory Thursdays again. We're doing it once a month. And a big topic that you guys wanted us to cover was timelines. And timelines are a fun topic to talk about because it is yeah, it is hard to kind of break down. So just so you guys know, we mentioned this on TikTok, but for anyone who's just joining, hello. This is kind of how the timeline works, or this is how tonight's going to work. Avery and I are going to spend about 1 hour just talking about timelines. So we're going to just basically break it down to you guys how we do the timelines. We're not going to get into the weeds of it. We're not going to get super granular. We'll talk about our method. We're going to show, I actually set up on here a little software. So we'll show you guys like how we would potentially map it out. And then the last 30 minutes after that hour, we're going to take about 30 minutes to just go over Slido, which is a way that we can then discuss theories. We will discuss anything that you guys want us to talk about, because I know some people mentioned they want to mention crack theories. They want to mention really intense theories.
Some of the theories we'll take and we'll do like a whole other theory Thursday on them that they may not be talked about tonight, but we will take all of your suggestions into consideration. And
yeah, so we called this part 1 because we have a feeling the timeline is going to take a lot.
Easily.
Yeah, so we're just gonna go ahead and dive right on in. So, but the one thing I wanted to say, and Chaos Mom, who is Amanda, she already put the link in, but that's Slido. And then the other thing is slido.com/ the code tonight is timeline. So, all right.
Theory. I have my Kindle on my computer because I'm not pulling the books down.
Yeah, no. Well, I don't know if we'll need the books tonight. So from a generic standpoint, there are, I will tell you, whenever people talk about the timelines, there are a lot of different ways you can do it. You can start from the end, which is Bryce in Valeris. You can start from the beginning, which is contentious on depending on where you want to start. It can be Acotar, it could be Throne of Glass, it could be Crescent City. You could start all, like, I'm talking Elena, Gavin, the Daglin, like all the way.
Some of that you're gonna need to do.
Yes, and you will. Or you can start somewhere in the middle. So there's quite a few things. The way Avery and I always do our theories is we try to stick with the text. So we try to stick with what Sarah has said. That doesn't mean we do speculate. That means, so Avery and I will speculate with each other. Sure. We will also sometimes just throw out random ideas to see if that could potentially stick. Because I think, and Avery, you can disagree with me if you disagree, but like, I think when it comes to Sarah, there are certain things that she's very particular on, and we can find that. For instance, Gwydion and all that. That was a very particular.
15,000 years, the crossing, all of that.
Yes. There are other things where you have to leave it up to interpretation. Yeah. Which is a lot of the timeline, unfortunately. Yeah. I would say.
And a lot of things, I would also like to say, is she uses actual holidays. So yes, winter solstice, for instance, is Farah's birthday, and it is December 21st. And so that is the only date in Acotar that we have that we can actually ping pong off of.
Yes.
Under the assumption that she's using our calendar.
Yes. So someone had asked earlier, can you talk about, your research books? We probably won't do that today, but the one thing I will tell you is in general, Avery and I have a lot of Celtic mythology for Sarah, because Sarah tends to pull a lot from that. She pulls a lot from Norse and Greek.
I would recommend highly the Epic series. They're really shiny. You can find them at Barnes & Noble. They're very pretty. You can also get them on Amazon. I can snag one of those.
And I don't use those. I'm going to be honest. It's like a personal preference. I don't really think I don't like the way they look. So I have like really boring ones that you literally could just pull a page from and stuff. So like I tend to go, those are the ones Avery has. I tend to go for the ones that are like from used bookstores that are old and decrepit, and I can like tab and do crazy things with. So I have quite a few Celtic. I also just like Celtic mythology and Greek mythology. Avery and I are also just generally big mythology nerds, so we like.
I have an entire book on the Balkans specifically because the Illyrians are from the Balkan Peninsula.
Do you know what the best part about that is? When Avery, we were together when she saw that book, and she was like, look, and I was like, your circus, your monkeys. Like, I was like, I'm not touching that. So we do tend to pull from that. So like Avery said, holidays are a big part. Is in Throne of Glass.
The Britannica online is also a really great
the Britannica
is
great. Yeah. In Throne of Glass, they tend to use Celtic holidays. So Yulemas, that's probably the first one I can think of. However, Acotar also uses, both of them use summer solstice. Yes.
Usually the ones that cross over between the three series are the solstices and the equinoxes. Those are the.
But there's no winter solstice for Throne of Glass.
Right.
That's the only one. So there's a summer solstice for Throne of Glass.
Well, there's no winter solstice that's mentioned in text for Throne of Glass.
Yeah, so they mentioned Yulemas, which is essentially the same thing. But just so you know, like, that's the only shift. Autumn Equinox is one that was mentioned in Crescent City off the top of my head. That was in Sky and Breath. That is one that is probably more prevalent in Acotar than it was in... It was never mentioned in Throne of Glass, but we did go through Autumn.
In the beginning of Silver Flames, we are starting around the Autumn Equinox. Just so you guys have a...
So, just idea. So you know, when Avery and I sit down and we think of the timeline, there's a few things we look at. Number 1, holidays. Number 2, seasons, which are not necessarily the best thing to look at.
Right.
And number 3, dates, if we can pull them.
Yes. Additionally, Sarah does not math.
No, not me. Yeah, SJM does not math.
Sarah J. Mass does not really math. So when you're looking at Acotar specifically, because I've spent the vast majority of the timeline research that I've done on that series.
Yeah.
Just being completely honest. Acotar specifically is very vague. It's when you get into Mist and Fury that you start getting more specific, but the most specific book is Silver Flames, and it's at the beginning, and it says things like it had been nearly 6 months since they had been made. It had been 9 months since he threw that book in the sea. Like, you know, it's all these different little nods that help you go, okay, so that was 9 months ago. Got it. Great. Cool.
This is probably gonna pop up here. Yeah, hold on. Let me make it smaller so you guys can see us. So this is the map of Throne of Glass to prove Avery's point for Throne of Glass. I always like to bring this up, okay? So, this is the map. In Kingdom of Ash, when Rowan is trying to find Aelin, at the very beginning, he's in Wendelin, right? Okay. Then it says a week later, he's somewhere, like, over here. He's not in Eelway, but if I remember, he's, like, kind of in this general area. That takes him a week. Now, for context, in Heir of Fire and in other books, it takes them usually from Otterlin to get to Wendelin like 2 or 3 weeks. Then at some point, Rowan and the crew, meaning Iliad, Lorcan, and Gavriel, all the way end up over here in the desert in just a few days. And then from here to get back to Wendelin was a week. So when we tell you Sarah doesn't math, we literally mean it doesn't make sense sometimes, and you just have to let it go. So it's but that's fine. It's fantasy. We're allowed. Listen, this is again where Avery and I understand it's okay.
It's called willing suspension of disbelief.
Yeah. It's fine. Okay.
It's a tool that you're supposed to use when reading or watching television. When something is just so unbelievable that you just let it go.
Yeah. So those are some of the things that we have noticed. Yes. But there is one thing that is 1000%, besides Bryce, 1000% we can pinpoint on a timeline, and that is Aelin's Fall. And that's where I typically like to start it, because
it's only a little bit vague in Silver Flames.
Oh, it's big in Throne of Glass too. But I just wanted to bring up Aelin's Fall really quick because we get questions about this, and I want to clarify a few things. Sure. So, number 1, Aelin's Fall, from Kingdom of Ash's point of view, and from Kingdom of Ash's point of view, Aelin's Fall takes place a few weeks before Yulemas. So this is Christmas. Okay?
Yes.
In Silver Flames, it is implied, but it is also up for interpretation,
that it has taken place prior to the dawn of spring upon Valaris.
So it's closer to like...
But it's more like February.
Yeah. Winter. So, for context, because a lot of people will say to us, well, seasons change in different places in the continent. And Avery and I, like, listen, I get it. Christmas in Australia is summer. Like, I understand that. However, we need to understand that Yulemas is a winter December holiday. And winter solstice was clearly named in Silver Flames, and this took place after that.
Mm-hmm.
So this is one of those instances where we're not looking at seasons. Avery and I are now looking at months.
It also, so in Silver Flames, it also, so this is winter solstice.
Mm-hmm.
Then you have some more text. Then you have Ninsar and AKA Starfall, AKA a minor spring holiday.
Mm-hmm.
Then you have spring dawned on Valaris, and there wasn't such a bad omen as a red star falling, and the priestesses, blah, blah, blah. They are talking as if this had happened previously, but text-wise, Ninsar has already happened.
Yeah. So
theory-wise, either the star happened prior to Ninsar, and we're just now talking about it.
Right.
The star happened on Starfall, which would be ironic.
Right.
And that's still spring, because it's a minor spring holiday.
Right.
Or it happened between Ninsar and spring dawning on Valaris. And then you still have the fact that it's in spring. So Sarah J. Maas doesn't math.
Yeah. So this is one of those examples where like you do have to suspend disbelief, and we just have to kind of guess.
We have to try to make it work.
Yeah. The other thing that Avery and I like to remind people of, because it's brought up a lot, is, time travel. Time travel is brought up quite a bit, in regards to, Aelin time traveled, or we can chalk Bryce up to time traveling to Valaris. Mm-hmm. And that also does not make sense based off of the text.
Yes.
An example of that is Aelin sees a modern city.
On the curve of a river.
On the curve of a river. She physically sees Feyre pregnant.
Yes. So Feyre has to be pregnant in this moment.
And granted, someone could say, they're just in a different time, so she saw her pregnant in the timeline. Okay. But then now you have to actually take real life interview, like word for word from Sarah, which is, we do know that Crescent City 3, aka where we left off in Hosab with Bryce and Valaris, takes place anywhere from 6 to 9 months post Silver Flames. So time travel isn't necessarily mathing right now.
Yeah, no.
Just to make that clear, if that ends up being the case, I think that would actually probably save a lot of time from everyone.
That would make our heads hurt less.
It would. I'm starting to already get a headache from this. But and also let me quickly say, Avery and I are Doctor Who fans, so we know time travel.
Mm-hmm.
So when we talk, we literally are wibbly wobbly timey wimey right now. We're not. Yeah. So
Bingle bongle dingle dangle.
That's right, baby. so we know time travel, and it doesn't seem time travel's an option. The other piece that is important to bring up is, because a lot of people will say things like, and I'm just bringing this up because I'm sick and tired of seeing it. It is, descendants, or this is, so-and-so's relative. That is also not mathing, based off of the fact that we know in the text from, and this is kind of, I'm not going to really get too far into this because this is not timeline related, but we know that there is a certain number of Fae that left both worlds. It's in Tower of Dawn and for Throne of Glass, and it is in Silver Flames in Acotar, but there were also Fae that were left at the world. So realistically, when we're looking at someone like Rune and how is he related to Rhys, it's equivalent to how Aelin and Dorian are both related to Elena.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Let's also just point out the fact that just because somebody looks like somebody else description-wise does not mean that they are automatically related. Maeve and Rhys.
Oh, God.
I refuse.
The Maeve and... Yeah, sorry. This is also...
flat out refuse.
The Maeve and... Okay, this is another thing, because some people have brought up Maeve with the time travel. So, I just... Regarding Maeve and time travel. So, number one, the longest timeline... actually, I'm going to go ahead and pull up the thing so we have it now, so we can just...
Pull up the whiteboard!
Yeah, I'm going to pull up the whiteboard, okay? Hold on, you guys get to watch my little... Come on. Okay. We are going to share my screen. Great. Now you guys can see it. Okay. So it's just loading it right now. So this is a little whiteboard. It's a little digital. It should work. If not, you guys will just... Oh, it's just thinking. Okay.
Let's do a little dance.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so let me just make this very clear. Okay, so there's a few key players here that are important to bring up. Can you see this, Avery?
I can.
Okay, cool. You tell me where to put your stuff because I'm just gonna help you.
You got it.
Okay, so there's a few key players here that people like to bring up. So there's Maeve, which I'll make this bigger so you guys can all see it. Let's do like this font and let's increase. Okay, so there's Maeve. And these are just the Throne of Glass. So how about this? I'll make these green, okay, to make it easy. Okay.
Love it.
So there's Maeve. There's Gavin. There is Elena.
Brannon.
And Brannon. Oh, and Mala.
And Mala.
Brannon.
Hello.
Right. Hello. And Mala. Okay. So these are your three.
Are we bringing Erewhon into this too?
No, because Maeve kind of covers that.
Okay.
Okay.
Gotta make them all green.
Yep.
There we go.
Okay. So these are your three kind of Rowan Whiteboard. Yeah. So these are your three, or why do I keep saying three? 1, 2, 3, 4. These are your five. There's 5. These are your 5 Throne of Glass people. Okay. Now your equivalent for this would be, for Acotar would be what? Amarantha.
Thea.
Oh, okay. Thea. I'll make it purple, don't worry.
Finn.
Is it 2 N's?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Amarin.
Amarin. And I'm going to say the Daglin. Just to have it.
Yeah. Lanthus. The Daglin.
Lanthus.
Just to have 5.
Yeah. Okay. So, I'm not going to put dates to this, but I'm just going to, for context, show you guys how this works. Okay?
What kind of purple is that?
What, you don't like it? You want a different purple? You want like this one?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay, cool. Okay. Okay.
Listen, I know we hate Finn, but he is the equivalent here.
Okay. So if we are going to... So we're going to go ahead and just say
15,000 years.
Okay. So if this is 15,000...
96,000.
Nice. And this is present day. No, you're fine. Okay, so these are, we'll put these in.
Oh, yeah, somebody's mentioning the High Priestess Elena and the cauldron and stuff, but that may even predate the 15,000 years.
Okay. So if this is 15,000, now there's also, so I'm spitballing right now, okay?
Sure.
So then there's also 500 because it is 500 years with Rhys and when Rhys gets like taken by Amarantha and all that stuff, right?
Rhys is, yeah. Well, no, it's 50 years.
Right, under the mountain, but the 5,000 when he with his father.
It's 500 from the war. Right? Because Rhys is 500.
So it's like
Rhys is 500.
Okay, then I'm not gonna put that there. This is where things get messy. Okay, so all right. Oh, we're using Maeve as the arrow one, just so everyone knows. Okay.
Yeah, and Elena could potentially predate the 15,000 because she has a lot to do with the cauldron. So we're gonna hold off on. We're not listing like the gods in them yet because that's a lot.
So when we look at this, I would say, I'm going to move these up just so we have it. Okay. So I would say, well, we know Thea and Finn were 15,000 years ago because of Crescent City.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Amarin.
And Acotar.
Right. And Acotar.
It's in both.
Okay. Yeah. Amarin
was put in the prison around that same time but came out of the prison as the courts rose.
So we're going to just throw her right here because she's a little after, but she was there in the time.
Right.
Okay.
Fair.
The Daglin are technically here.
Yes, they're the demon war situation, and Lanthus kind of ran with them in the Wild Hunt.
Okay, so there you go. So the Daglin are like here, okay?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Then you have Lanthus, which was around during Cassian, because Cassian remembers putting him in there.
Yes, but he was around way before that because he led the Wild Hunt.
So like kind of around here? Or here?
I'd put him between Daglin and Thea.
Okay, so like here.
Yeah.
Okay. So then now let's look at Elena and all of this.
Mm-hmm.
Elena is kind of closer to here because it's not 15,000 years.
Mm-hmm.
It's actually 1,000, give or take.
Sure.
We'll put a little that because we're not sure. Elena.
Can you do me a favor just because I'm anal retentive and put that about in front of the 1,000?
Yeah.
Thank you. Sorry.
Okay, so we're going to say about 1,000 years. Elena is right here. Gavin is right here. Okay?
Brandon is alive.
Brandon is here because Brandon is before, obviously, you know.
Yeah.
Mala is somewhere around here. She gets with Brandon there, but she's kind of closer to here because she'd been there for...
ever.
Yeah. Maeve is actually kind of somewhere here.
Y'all can see how like very generic this is, right?
Yeah.
You're seeing that?
Yeah. But
y'all are seeing that.
But we're bringing this up because a lot of people think that these happen in the same time.
They don't.
They don't. Okay? And that's not even bringing up like Luna and all of the Crescent City stuff, which we don't even necessarily have a clear time on.
Other than Thea and Peleus crossing.
Would you have the bone carver here or somewhere else? I actually think, okay, if we're going to put the bone carver, just as like a quick little like bone carver.
Hey, Miss Carver.
I'm going to make him pink really quick because I actually think this is what the bone carver did. I think the bone carver was like over here in Aurelia.
Him and his fuckery.
I think the bone carver is also equivalent to, aka, what did they call him?
The God of Truth.
The God of Truth. Which Aelin, Adian, and Rowan say in Crown of Midnight that there was, Queen of Shadows, that there is a God of Truth. And they show that it was thousands of years ago. So I actually think the bone carver was in Aurelia and then made his way somewhere around here.
Yeah, I just want to know how the Weaver and Crochet play into that. I'm sure they exist somewhere.
Yeah, I'm sure they do. So, you know, the bone carver's hopping around. I think is the best way to put it. Does this make somewhat sense? This is why the timeline is really hard.
Yeah.
For anyone wondering. So, here, I'll do it like this, okay? So that's kind of what this looks like, all right? So
so can we write down key players in World Stacked?
Yeah, you want to do that?
Let's do that next.
Okay, what do you want me to do?
Do you want me to start or do you want to start?
Can you type?
No, I meant like...
Oh, you can start.
First, do you want me
You can start. You can start.
Okay, so key players in cross worlds that are not already on here. So like Amarin obviously counts. Resand.
Hold on a second. Okay. So we're going to go ahead right here just for reference. I'm going to go ahead and we're going to just do a rough timeline. So I'm going to call this rough timeline.
Our heads hurt.
Our heads already hurt. And we're going to go ahead and start with Acotar.
Okay.
So I'll put it like here. Okay.
Perfect. So, Acotar. Lord have mercy.
Okay, so your key players. You have Rhysand.
Uh-huh. Should we list Amarin again?
No, I'll just pull her.
Okay.
Amarin.
Rhysand, Amarin, Nesta, Gwen, Meryl.
Wait, why Meryl?
Because she's the one who was doing the research with Gwen.
I know, but she's not in line with the timeline.
I'm just thinking, I was just doing key players about the stacked worlds. Is that no longer what we're doing?
Oh, no, I thought you were doing like key players in the timeline and how they cross over.
Kind of, sort of, but I'm thinking more of like people who know about the stacked worlds.
Oh, okay. So let's do people aware of stacked. People aware of worlds. Or I should say of the word gate. They're not necessarily, but you know what I mean.
Right.
Okay, so these are the people aware of the word gate from all the series. Okay?
Uh-huh.
Okay, so under Acotar,
we've got Rhys, Nesta, Amarin, Gwen, Meryl.
So Rhys, Nesta, Gwen.
My money is on Clotho as well.
Yeah, I would think so. Meryl.
Uh-huh. Clotho. I mean, technically, anybody who came into some kind of interaction with Bryce when she crossed is now kind of aware.
I would say not 100% yet with
right.
Ezreal.
Money on Helian as well.
I would agree with that. I don't think Helian is aware of crossover timelines.
No, but I think he might be aware of multiple worlds.
Why would Averys be aware?
He wouldn't, in my opinion.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Averys wouldn't.
Oh, yeah, not in my opinion. No. Averys has his own shit he has to deal with. Okay. Koshé definitely does.
Oh, I'm just gonna go ahead instead of just labeling all of them. I'm gonna say, or labeling Koshé. I'm just gonna say,
the death gods.
Yeah.
Even though the other two are already dead.
Yeah.
I don't understand Moore's truth power yet, so
I don't think she knows.
I'm gonna say no for right now.
Is it Koshé?
With an S before the C, but otherwise yes. Yeah.
Okay. I'm just gonna make them a little smaller.
Just enter them down underneath death gods. Boom.
Okay. All right. I think those are your Acotar ones.
Yeah, I mean, I think Feyre and Az and Cassian are all aware of it at this point, or becoming aware of it with Bryce, but I don't think that they are. I don't think they're on the same level as the rest of the people listed.
Yeah.
Nesta, I would do because of all of her interaction with the harp.
I would agree with that.
And her use of the multiple worlds or the multiple times and jumping through time, and her interaction with the mother.
Yeah. Okay, so for Throne of Glass, it's going to be Elena. I'm going to say
Baba Yellowlegs.
I will get to the witches, don't worry.
I mean, somebody already put it in the chat.
So I know. Don't worry. Okay. Rowan is probably aware because of his experience under the mountain. Which also means then that oh my god, I always blank on his name. It's the story keeper. Amorous?
Amorous, yes. That is Merlin's other name, if that helps you remember it.
Is it spelled like that? I don't think so.
Yes, it's spelled like that.
Okay, Amorous is probably aware. Vaughn, no. You know who has a high probability of being aware? Is our girl Irene.
Oh yeah.
Irene is probably aware.
Nezrin and Sartak are both aware.
Mm-hmm.
Our main boy Sartak.
So Nezrin. Wait.
Sartak.
Rowan under the mountain. Oh, I can explain that. Sartak.
It didn't change Aelin to Nezrin.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Dorian is probably not aware of the worlds. Actually, no, that's not true. He probably is. No, he's not aware. Okay, so Dorian is aware of, I think, time travel, not other realms. Because
somebody said Nehemia.
Oh, Nehemia definitely knows. Nehemia. She was probably the biggest. And then, of course, Bobby Yellowlegs.
Bobby Yellowlegs. I think the Blue Blood matron knows some shit.
I think the Blue Bloods know in general.
I'm telling you guys, priestesses, robes, acolytes, witches.
Manon doesn't know.
No.
He didn't see Aelin open the portal. So what Dorian saw was Dorian saw him open the portal to the gods, but he did not see her open the portal to other worlds. So I know, I saw Fenris. The argument can be made that Dorian doesn't know about other worlds, but he knows that there is a realm of gods.
That's the second person who said Halun the Hearth Mother. But yes, I agree. Sartak's Hearth Mother.
Yeah, she probably does. I'm just gonna, yeah. Okay. You kind of get the idea that most people in Throne of Glass know.
Pretty much, yeah. And you need to bring Maeve down.
Oh, right. Obviously, this crew knows. Maeve. Gavin, meh. I don't think he knows. Brannon definitely knows.
You already have Elena on there, so you don't need to bring her down.
And Mala, yeah. Brannon knows for sure.
But Mala's a god, so I would put her in a whole separate category.
I'm just gonna say the gods.
There you go.
There you go. Manon doesn't know about other worlds. So like this is the interesting thing. So Manon and Aelin went through the mirrors. They would know about realms, but they would not know that there are other worlds.
Somebody made a very good point that Kale did go into the Hell Realm after Fleetfoot.
Mm-hmm.
So Kale.
But I think
Kale.
No, but I think an argument
knows, but he doesn't believe.
I think an argument though can be made though that what had happened in the castle in Crown of Midnight with the Hell Realm was not clearly understood by Dorian and Kale. Aelin knew that she opened a realm.
I wish Kaltane knew, but I don't think Kaltane knew.
So I think an argument. Oh, I'm not gonna put. I'll put Maeve. Obviously, I'll put Maeve / the Valk.
There we go.
I think an argument can be made that what Aelin did with the Hell Realm in Crown of Midnight does not mean that Dorian and Kale know.
Right.
Because they didn't understand. Kale learns from Irene about the Valk, but he doesn't learn about the other worlds. Well, actually, no, wait. Yes, he does, because Nezrin eventually tells him.
He learns about the World Walkers. And the Valk Kings walked from another world.
So because of Nezrin.
Yes.
Okay, so then Kale.
Well, that and Irene has the book in word marks, and they go down into the underneath of the library to look for more information.
Yeah, but that's not necessarily them knowing about other worlds. Who was I putting down? Kale. I'll put Kale down because I agree with that. I don't think the Healer on High knows, because the Healer on High literally had those books of word marks and didn't know what to do with them.
Right.
The spider, the Valk, we got the Valk in there. So basically what we're trying to say is Throne of Glass knows the most. Now let's get to Crescent City.
Okay.
So, Crescent City. Oh, whoops.
The Autumn King.
Hold on. Make it red. Okay. So, I'm surprised you said Autumn King first.
I'm not. He has the same freaking
You know who I thought you would say?
Jezebel. Yeah, I mean, she was number 2, but is the Autumn King for me. That man knows shit.
I'm not going to put Adis. I'm going to put the Hell, Princess of Hell. Because it's all of them. Princess of Hell. Bryce. I mean, basically at the end of, you can say Bryce, Hunt. Now they all know. Rune. Lydia, definitely. Lydia's probably known longer than all of them. Rune.
An argument can be made for the Avalon Fae.
You think they know that there's other worlds?
Sword.
But do you think they know there's other worlds? I don't think they know. I don't think any of the other Fae know. I think the Autumn King got a sniff because of something. Oh, Fury. That's a good one. Fury knows.
Absolutely. Danica
knew. Fury. Danica. I would say, obviously, the Asteri, but I would say anyone.
Viper Queen.
Do you think the Viper Queen knows?
That's it is in the thing. Okay. I'm seeing Thea. She will get brought down because she is actual crossover.
Yeah. So characters like Thea.
Finn may not know.
I think we should do it like this. People who've actually crossed over. Okay.
Ooh, that could be fun. Aelin, Bryce.
Okay. Wait. Okay. You're jumping around. I gotta write it down. Okay.
People who have actually crossed, or are we gonna consider Nesta since she used the harp?
Hold on. So these are people who have crossed over, people who are aware. Okay. People who have crossed over.
I have questions.
I know. Just give me a second.
I have clarification questions.
Okay. People who have crossed over versus people who are aware of multiple worlds. So people who are aware of multiple worlds are people like Meryl, Bobby Yellowlegs, and I would say Reese. These are characters, or Jezebel would be a good example. These are characters who we know that they have crossed over. Okay. Characters who have physically crossed over. I don't think Nesta has physically crossed over. She used the harp to get somewhere.
She has used the harp to essentially winnow. But that's not, she has not, but she stopped time.
But that's not crossing into another world. You know I'm right.
This seems very...
Do you want to put Nesta under Acotar?
Yes, I do.
Okay, fine. We can put Nesta. That's fine. Oh, I put Gwen. Gwen doesn't count.
LOL. She has not.
Yeah.
Amarin has.
Yeah, hold on. I'm just getting comfortable. Okay. Where's Amarin?
Lucy, breathe. I'm working on it.
Okay. I'm going to put Death Gods because...
Probably. My money's on Lanthus. He came from somewhere else. There's no fucking way.
Lanthus came from here. I'm just going to say it.
Yeah. And then...
The Daglin.
And then there was one more that I thought of that my brain is not doing.
You know who I bet crossed over?
Yeah.
Well, first off, they obviously know.
Yeah.
I wonder if Jezebel has.
I feel like Jezebel has absolutely world hopped.
I'm going to put it right here because it's not known.
Somebody said the Asteri. They're not listed, but yeah.
Yeah, the Asteri are the obvious ones.
Athrol. That's an excellent point.
He did not. He was originally from Aurelia and stayed in Aurelia.
No, but he might know.
No, these are people who have physically crossed over.
I know, but we also still have the people aware column.
You want me to put Athril?
I don't know. You're the Throne of Glass expert. You tell me.
I mean, it's unknown. And this is why. Because the story with Athril, it's a bit of like a rumorous story. But the idea is that like I think he was a friend of Brandon's. I think that is Claire in there. And actually, I'll look it up. I'll tell you guys. Hold on.
I need more alcohol.
Please hold.
I'm out of liquor. Oh my God. Lucy texted me. What did Lucy say?
Okay. Athril.
Oh, she just haha. Never
mind. He befriended Brandon. Excuse me. Hold on.
Do I want another drink?
Girl, that's up to you. We got like 30 minutes before we'll just do random theories. Okay.
Then yeah, I want another drink. Okay, keep talking.
So Athril, Maeve said that Maeve is said to have helped Brandon and Athril recover the word keys from the Valk. Questionable. Maeve later gifted the word keys to Brandon. That's not true. For safekeeping. When Maeve has Rowan whipped to coerce Aelin, should they put Selena, into giving up the location of the word keys, Selena displays a power, reveals to Maeve she knows the truth of what actually happened. That Maeve sought out the word keys to wield them as a source of power rather than being an ally, pursued Brandon and Athril to take the keys from them, and then Maeve killed Athril when he fought back. Quick side note, because I'm just reading this and realizing I really want a prequel book of Maeve and Athril's romance with Brandon and all of them. Interesting. I would read the crap out of that. Because this is the other piece. So they knew about the keys. However, if you remember in Throne of Glass and
based a lot of vodka.
Then if you remember in Throne of Glass and if you remember in Crown of Midnight when they go over the riddle about the keys, it's said that it is a high source of power. It does not mention anything about world hopping. So I don't think that's a thing. Fury. I don't think Fury, she probably knows, but I don't think she's in the crossed over category. I think the crossed over category is going to be small.
Like the Baxian suggestion on the knowing.
I need a theory book. Well, listen, we do our best.
Avery sip time? Jesus. Listen.
I'm trying to think if there's anyone. I think this covers the basics. Thur. Oh God. I'm not even gonna put. I'm gonna tell you right now. I'm not even putting Thur down because all we know about him is he's got a damn statue. Somebody
mentioned the Mystics.
Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one. Mystics, no.
Especially that astronomer guy who has.
I'm gonna put Mystics / their keeper because that's kind of what he is.
There you go. Yeah. That one random guy. Oh, the Suriel.
Oh,
excellent point.
That is a very good point. But do you think wait, hold on though.
I don't think the Suriel has crossed. I think they just know.
Do you think they know?
I think they know. The Suriel knows all. That's the whole point.
I think I could argue that the Suriel doesn't know.
Do not.
I'm just saying. I think it's a question. I'm
just saying no.
I think it's a question. And this is why.
I think I want you to put it under there anyway.
I'm going to put it down here because I'm not fully bought on that.
It's fine. You can put it in a Jezebel has actually crossed over category.
This is why. Let me just explain why. Because I think with the Suriel, based off of the interactions they had with Feyre, it didn't seem like they knew outside of their scope. So it wouldn't surprise me if they know all within their world, but they don't know what's going on outside of their world. Because the whole point of Meryl's research was that there were worlds on top of each other and they don't even know it. So I don't think an entire being would know about the worlds on top of each other. Because wouldn't it have gotten out by now?
An impossible to catch being?
Listen, I have questions about that. Like I'm gonna one day when I sit down with Sarah J. Maas and I get her drunk enough, I'm gonna say, "You tell me how we got a human to catch the cereal and no one else can. Explain that to me. Lucian can't even catch the cereal." Does that make sense? It doesn't make disbelief. I know. Okay.
I didn't even say it.
Do you like? I'm talking myself down off this ledge. Okay. Does that somewhat make sense?
What?
What we just did. We were supposed to work on the timeline. Instead, we worked on this. I need you to talk like that. That's what I'm saying. If the cereal knew, they would have said something about the red star.
Y'all know that this is some shit that I deal with all the time, right?
Just say Baxian. I don't think Baxian knows. Sorry. Did we put Lydia down? Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
I was gonna say Lydia definitely knows.
Is she with the one? Hold on, I gotta look at something. Please hold. Don't get too excited.
I'm not. Okay.
No. Don't go anywhere. Hang on.
I'm not doing anything.
Hold on.
Okay, I'm waiting.
It's Lidia. I thought it was.
Oh, sorry.
That's okay.
I spelled it like Pride and Prejudice.
That's fair.
Just in case anyone's wondering, I spelled it like Pride and Prejudice, Lydia.
Oh, you've got her on there twice.
Oh.
Look above Mystics.
It's because I copy and pasted. That's why. The thing under the Lincoln era fire. I'm not going to put it down only because it's not a major character. But yes, I would agree that I think that is a cross-worlds character. In fact, Amorous brings that up. So yes. Hypaxia.
The only reason Lanthus is listed is because he is our Acotar connection to the
Listen,
Valk.
If I'm going to be honest, Lanthus should technically go here, but it's fine. Yeah. Okay. Someone brought up Hypaxia.
No.
Yeah, I don't think Hypaxia knows, because I think if she knew, I don't think what went down would have gone down the way it did.
Hypaxia has enough going on with the dead people she's raising. I think we're okay.
I don't think the archangels know, because I think
Elaine could know, but Elaine doesn't know how to piece it together because she doesn't understand her sight. Which honestly, what an excellent opportunity would it be to have
you're gonna get
be the one to teach Elaine about her sight.
I thought you were going to say something else, and I was like, you're going to get yourself in trouble, so I'll say it. I thought you were going to say, what an excellent way to make Elaine important is to make her understand her sight in CC3.
Guys, all right. I feel like this is a misconception. Like, people think you hate Kale. People think I hate Elaine because I love Gwenreel. I love Elaine. I'm a big Illusion stan. I feel like that just needs to be clarified.
Yes. We both actually are big Illusions.
I love the hell out of Elaine. I think she's such a fascinating character. I want more for her.
Yeah. Someone said because of Hypaxia's tutors. So Hypaxia's tutors knew about the truth about... This is what I think. I think if you were to look at time travel / not really time travel, crossing worlds versus knowing the truth about the Asteri being parasites, I think her tutors, aka the ghosts, knew the truth about the parasites, but I don't think they knew about... Oh yeah, definitely. I don't think they knew about the crossing the worlds. So,
I love Lettuce Boy, but he's the Jon Snow of Throne of Glass.
That's accurate. The Oracle's a good one.
The Oracle's a very good one.
We'll add the Oracle. For sure. Okay. We kind of went on a tangent. So for the last 20 minutes, the only thing I want to talk about for this is how you and I would now begin to structure a potential timeline. What would you do?
So I would start at the beginning of Silver Flames.
For all three?
No.
Like, if you were to do a timeline to connect all 3 series, you would start at the beginning of Silver Flames to do that?
I would start at the beginning of Silver Flames and get as close to an accurate Acotar timeline as I could, because that is the series I know the best.
Mm-hmm.
And then I would try to see, based on other events in the books, how those could line up with that already structured timeline. And the reason I would start with the beginning of Silver Flames, I feel like I need to explain this. The beginning of Silver Flames has 3 different contextual moments of where exactly we are in the story of Acotar. So
also, just to quickly interrupt Avery, sure. Another point to give Avery the benefit of why, I mean, I know Avery loves Silver Flames, but I just want to point out a great reason why you would also potentially start with Silver Flames is because this was the first time Sarah actually sat down and made sure that it directly connected with another series, Sky and Breath. So just to play devil's advocate for anyone who's like, well, Avery always talks about Silver Flames. No, she's actually onto something with this. Okay, so sorry. Okay. Continue.
That's okay. So we know that at the start of Akasif, on page 18, it says there had been no whisper of that queen in the 14 months since the war. So the end, or the war that happens in Akawar, the war with Hybern, happens 14 months prior to the start of A Court of Silver Flames. We know that. That is canon fact. We also know that Cassian's words from 9 months ago, which is on page 33, is a reference to Solstice. So we know that A Court of Frost and Starlight, the fight that Nesta and Cassian had along the Sidra, happened 9 months ago. The other thing that we know is that I don't have the exact page number.
Well, it's okay. I don't think you need that. I think it's the idea here. The general idea is that Avery would start with Silver Flames because there are literal direct correlations.
The only other one I want to point out that I just don't have the exact page number for is we find out that Gwen has been in the library for nearly 2 years, and that she goes to the library the day the attack on Sangerville happens, which I have determined where that happens in Mist and Fury, but it's right before the Inner Circle dinner, but right after, or it's like 3 days before Tamlin locks Feyre in the manor.
Right. Because for anyone who does, we'll go over this when we do because for anyone who doesn't know, we're doing the mass read along. This month is Acotar, next month's Mist and Fury. Avery and I will point out when that happens because it is literally labeled in Mist and Fury. So for context.
Yes, but those are the 3 things that like are definitive date giving, time giving things. So you're in Mist and Fury, and up to the start of Silver Flames, it's been, quote, nearly 2 years.
Right.
So
for
me, that's why I would start there.
Yeah. So Avery would start in Silver Flames, which is a pretty good place. For me, I tend to start with where did all 3 cross over, which is Aelin's Fall. So I tend to start there, which also tends to be the harder way to do it because it doesn't all line up. But I will tell you, based off of what Avery and I know of the Fall, for context, so obviously, suspend disbelief for a second. So give me that. But sure. Aelin falls in the winter. We see her fall directly in Silver Flames in the spring. Suspend disbelief. It does actually match up that she would fall. So basically what I tend to do is I tend to do something like this. So Avery, for context, so Avery's way of doing it is she looks at all of Silver Flames. So Avery,
Sarah, I sent you the Gwenriel timeline. You can show them the way my brain works.
No, I know. I'm just trying to quickly say. So sure. The way Avery does this is Avery will look at Akasif, okay? which, sorry, it's still purple. Okay.
That's okay.
So she will
Keep
look
it purple. That makes sense.
So Avery will look at Akasif, okay? But she's also looking at, she's basically looking at Acomath to Akasif. Yeah, to Akasif because there are specific dates.
And because Acotar is so vague.
Acotar is extremely vague. It is probably one of the more vague in all 15 of her books, just to clarify. Mm-hmm. Okay.
You can only really, timeline-wise, get just before Under the Mountain and the Trials to Acomath. That's pretty much all you got.
Now, the way I do it... Whoops, I didn't mean to do that.
I kind of like that, though.
Yeah. The way I do it is I look at Aelin's Fall... Which, let me just make that a little smaller for context. Okay. So I look at Aelin's Fall. Oh, come on. Okay. And then, which I'll just put somewhere around here. These don't, by the way, these aren't lined up, just for anyone's context. Okay. I look at Aelin's Fall and then I do this. So then I use my brain and I go, okay, well, right here is Bryce in Perithian. Because that's kind of your end spot. Okay. So your end spot is over here, let's just say. Okay. So if this is over here, we know exactly where, I'm going to put it here for like Crescent City. We know where this lines up in Akasif. So it lines up somewhere like here. Okay. Okay. So let's just say Akasif is here.
Sure.
Like that, kind of towards the end. Okay. We know that Bryce's Fall is somewhere here.
Right, because she's 6 to 9 months post-Akasif.
She's 6 to 9, yeah. So then my brain then assumes that this part is between Hosab, or House of Earth and Blood, and Hosab. Because there is about a few months difference between the two. So my brain kind of jumps a little more than Avery's does. Avery naturally is more analytical.
Linear?
Yeah, linear and analytical than I am. I tend to be like, what about this? What about this? What about this? So I'm
here's the difference, y'all. ADD medication, unmedicated.
yeah, basically.
I love you a lot. I feel like I need to clarify that. I love her a lot.
Yeah, so like I know that this is here, and then I know that this is Silver Flames. So that's how I do it. So my brain kind of looks at it from, Avery looks at it like this. I look at it from a horizontal angle, and I will start to then pull it apart.
That entire little box down there that you've just made stresses me out.
Everything about this
to me.
Freaks me.
To me.
Well, my brain tends to hop around a lot more. So like but I also tend to look at things like, for example, Throne of Glass starts in September. I know, like, meaning Aelin is picked up in Endovier in September. I know this because based off of where Throne of Glass ends, you do the math, it is September. Okay.
I would also like to point out that the start of Silver Flames is around September.
Yeah, I know. Believe me, Avery knows how to work with my brain. Okay, I just want to make that clear. So, I mean, someone's like, Avery's like, what is this mess? Avery knows how to work with this. Okay, so I tend to be very linear with some things, but something like this, I'm like, okay, just garbage dump. Let's just figure this out. So, I tend to go through.
Sarah's one of those people I can imagine when doing a puzzle with her, I would want to scream, because what she's going to do is she's going to just lay all of the pieces out and just kind of try to figure it out. I'm going to lay all of the pieces out, and then I'm going to divide them by color. I'm going to find the edge pieces. I'm going to make the edge first.
The first thing I will do is the edges, and then we'll figure it out from there.
Yeah, but you got to divide. Like, once you have the edges, you got to divide by color. Oh my God, how brain.
So there you go. That answers that question. For anyone wondering,
you're never doing a puzzle.
For anyone who's going to watch me play Hogwarts Legacy tomorrow, you're going to see how quick I'll be like, oh, shiny. Like, we will not be in a direct linear order. But anyways, so I tend to go from what canonically has physically crossed over, which is Aelin's Fall, Bryce, and then I'll look at things like the only other thing that has crossed over is not a person, but an objects. So then I will start to look at The Walking Dead, the Book of Breathings. I will look at the Horn. I will look at the Dead Trove in general. The swords. Like I start to then look at objects and see how they could work. From a basic understanding, I'm just going to tell you, once you start to do this, neither one of our methods is perfect.
No, God, no.
Yeah.
I'm damn near close, though, damn it.
I mean, I got close that one day. I think
you and I both got close that one day.
We got pretty close recently, and we're going to have to go through that, but my brain can't process that right now.
I really just want to show them the Gwenreal timeline because I spent so much time.
How about this? Put it in Discord. Share with them in Discord so that way they can see the whole physical thing.
Okay.
There you go. She did work really hard on this Gwenreal timeline.
I did. It took so long, guys.
Yeah, I asked her to make it digital because it was always in a notebook, and I was like, Avery, what happens if like that notebook gets wet or something? Like, it's stressing me out that you haven't like digitized this in a cloud. Like, it's kind of freaking me out. So, yeah, there's no right way to do. I mean, some people start from the back. They'll start from Bryce and Prithian and then move their way back. Some people start from the front, meaning, well, it's kind of hard to start from the front because you can't base it off of the oldest series because Throne of Glasses technically takes place in the middle of Mist and Fury. So it doesn't... This is... Okay, I'm going to stop sharing my screen because yeah, we're good. Okay, there we go. Oh, let's just close this. Okay. The other...
Lucy's telling me to put my copyright on it, like a watermark on it.
Oh, Lucy is right.
She's right. I need to do that really quick. Let me just do that right quick. Keep talking anyway.
So here are some tricky things that Avery and I have learned about the timeline. You can't always start with Throne of Glass, even though some people tend to want to. I know I did, because it's the older series. This is a problem with starting Throne of Glass. It's the shortest timeline. For anyone who doesn't know, Throne of Glass to Kingdom of Ash is 15 months. It starts in September, ends in December. September, October, November, December. So yeah. For 16 months. It's 16 months. So 16 months. Acotar to Silver Flames is what?
Acotar to Silver Flames?
Yeah, how many years?
It's like a winter month to...
How many years is it though?
Spring. I think it's 3.5 or 4.
So it's 3.5 years. So in case anyone's like, why? Yeah, so 3.5 years. Although Acotar has the longest time because Under the Mountain. So this is why we know. Basically, for context, if you really want your mind blown, all of Acotar, for the most part, is the Assassin's Blade and Aelin and Endovier. When we figured that out, I was like, I'm sorry, what? Because my brain doesn't compute that Acotar was that long, but it was. It was basically the Assassin's Blade and a good chunk of her stay in Endovier. So we do know that. And how we figured that out was based off of, if you read Assassin's Blade, and she's semi good at this. If she's talking about time frames, she'll do it in like the first 2 paragraphs of a chapter. So if you just look at the first 2 paragraphs of a chapter, you can usually piece it together, and it is about, it is literally 2 months, or it is the entirety of Acotar. I don't know why I said 2 months. The entirety of Acotar. Where that lines up with Crescent City, I don't remember off the top of my head. Basically, Crescent City is the easiest one to pin because it's where there was a pretty big time jump, and there's 2 books. And both books take place over the course of a few months. It's nothing crazy. I can't remember. Well, yeah, a few months, because Because Hosab starts and they want to get to winter solstice, but the end of the book is in fall, so they didn't get all the way there. So, if anyone's wondering, that's kind of where we're at. Math is really hard for two people who don't like math.
I hate math.
We both hate math.
I don't know if it's been made clear to most of you, but Sarah and I are the same person in a different spot.
Well, I don't know if it's been made clear, but like we clearly like talking to people and we don't do math. So like we're not in the finance department. We're in the like communication marketing.
I have a day at work that's dedicated to me doing math.
Yeah. So
okay, that's obnoxious enough.
It was. Cool. Okay, so
Avery. No, I'm sorry. I was talking about my watermarks.
No, I know. So Avery's posting the Gwen Real time. Where are you posting it?
Mass read along.
Okay, Avery's gonna post the Gwen Real timeline and Mass read along, so you guys have it. I'm gonna go ahead and open up the Slido because we have a lot of questions, and I'm gonna try and
let's do it.
Answer as many of these in rapid fire as we possibly can. Ready, set, go. Question number 1: theories on Thea's unnamed daughter. Do you have any theories on that?
The one that's not Helena.
Yes, unnamed.
I have thoughts. I'm not quite ready to share the thoughts, but I have thoughts.
Oh, hold on. Someone asked, how did we figure out they stack like that? The Assassin's Blade and Acotar. So it's because we figured it out because of Aelin's fall. If you go backwards from the fall and you do enough math, well, first off, it's because of this. This is the easiest way to do it. Throne of Glass takes place over 16 months. Acotar takes place over, 3 years? 2 years, you said? 2-ish. We'll say 2.5 years. I'm guessing. Avery knows the exact time, okay?
Wait, what? Sorry, I missed the question.
How many years takes place over Acotar to Silver Flames?
It's about 3.5.
So 3.5 years, okay? Then you have Crescent City. Crescent City takes place over the course of, I don't remember, but I know we did the math. So
it's like 2 months.
Each book is a few months, but there's a 2-year gap in Earth and Blood. So just for context, it's probably like
so
around 3 years.
It's like a day and then a 2-year time jump, and then it's like a month, and then I believe Claire said it was a month, maybe 2.
Yes. So so basically the way Avery and I did it, and a lot of the court did it, was we did this. Okay, so Bryce crosses over here in Sky and Breath. Okay, so she's in Valeris. We know Sarah has said 3 to 6 months, so give or take 3 months. We're estimating. Okay, give or take 3 months. Now we're going to Aelin's Fall. Aelin's Fall took place here, based off of the end of Silver Flames here. Okay, so now we know where we can map out everything else. So we know Throne of Glass took place over the course of 16 months. We know Acotar took place over the course of this. So now we can fully, from a very large scale, look at the timelines, and that's how we figured out Assassin's Blade took over the course of Acotar, because we basically started backwards. We did backwards and looked at the big events, and then we got granular and did the little things. This is not getting into the the post the physical books, like the thousands of years. We don't ask us right now.
Please don't.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Do we think we've seen Shadow Singers and Light Singers anywhere else in the Mass universe that is not Acotar?
Yes.
Really? Where?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Where?
I don't know if we've seen Light Singers, but I have a few ideas about some shadows and some Shadow Singers.
Oh, you're talking about like Rune?
A little bit, yeah, but not really.
If you're talking about Lorcan, I'm going to shut you down real fast.
It's not Lorcan. Okay, you and I have already discussed that.
A lot of people think that Lorcan's a Shadow Singer. He's not.
He's not. No.
His shadows.
He has Hellas's magic.
He doesn't really even have shadows. It's like misty.
He has death magic.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Someone asked if we followed Emily's theories on TikTok. Here's a fun thing that Avery and I usually don't talk about. We don't watch other theorists on TikTok.
Who is Emily?
I don't know who that is, but I'll look her up.
Okay.
We don't watch other theorists on TikTok only because our brains hurt enough from talking to each other. Also, fun fact, it took Avery 9 months to talk to me because when she was getting shared in the Discord of us being a theorist, I said, I want nothing to do with that because I typically don't like to talk to theorists because they tend to be like, I know everything. And I'm like, I don't.
I'm just a weasel. I weaseled my way in.
Here's the truth about theories. You can't sit on your high horse and say you're right. None of us are right. None of us know if we're right. There's only one person in the entire effing planet that knows the truth, and her name is Sarah Janet Maas. Okay?
Well, I was right one time.
But one person that knows the truth about everything.
Sure.
That is Sarah Janet Maas. Okay?
Yeah.
So until she comes out and says it, it's a theory. Also, I don't take it too seriously. I sleep at night perfectly fine, not thinking about this all the time.
I think about this all the time. I sleep just fine.
Yeah. So, but I'm willing to check her out. I'm willing to check
her out.
Look at
Amanda in the chat going, I told you that you would love her.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. All right. Theories. Here's a theory. Tam's redemption will come in the form of sacrificing himself in the war. He said many times all he is good at fighting and never wanted the High Lord title. Do you think Tamlin will die? Like, really?
No. I think it would, story-wise, I think it would do better if he did.
Oh, really? I think the opposite.
But I don't think that she'll do it.
I don't think enough has been set up for him to die. I think there's one character that should die.
I don't see his true purpose anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So I would agree with you on that. Kind of like,
I would agree with you on that.
I didn't like him in the beginning anyway. Like, I never fell in love with Tamlin. You know this.
Mm-hmm.
I picked up on the abusive tendencies very early on and was not a fan. So
I think Tamlin, this is what I think. I think she had a great storyline with him once she got to Acotar.
Yeah.
And then since then, I don't think she knows what to do with him.
I'm certain she doesn't know what to do with him other than keep him alive so that, spring doesn't fall.
Exactly. That's what I was going to say. Someone said I follow Emily. She has some very deep and developed theories. I love that. See, listen, I'm not going to knock another theorist because, listen, there's none of us are right or wrong in the situation. My brain can't handle multiple theorists, just like how some people can't read fan fiction. I can read fan fiction. I cannot watch other people's theories.
Yeah.
However, there are some times where our theories are the same, and it's because we are literally using the same textbook. So, just want to point that out. Okay. Okay. Thoughts? Oh, God. Do you want to take a quick sip of your drink before I read this? Just start sipping. Thoughts on Elaine being more in-depth with the Hades and Persephone retelling, hold on, with Adis and the Valk being a prince of hell. Okay, let's unpack this. Number one, do you think thoughts on Elaine being more in-depth with Adis? Do you think... Okay.
No.
Yeah, let me quickly talk about the...
No.
Okay. Any CC ones you know? Yes, we actually... Heather has a great... She's in the Discord. She's amazing. We love Heather dearly.
HR Liz 50 is her AO3 username, and if you go in the Discord, there's a Crescent City Rex under the fanfiction tag.
Yeah,
she's been posting in there.
Yeah,
and she just did a whole day and night fic that is.
Yeah, the day and night fic's great.
Check all of the tags on it because there's some really heavy shit.
Yeah. Okay, let's break this down. Number one, we talk about Brireal quite a bit, and this feels like an appropriate time to talk about Brireal because we're talking about Elaine and Adis.
I'm literally going to walk away.
This is all I'm going to say about it, and I'm going to make it quick. I think any relationship that you think is going to happen, not you meaning Avery, but in general, you. Any relationship that you think... The objective you. If you think that a couple is going to come about from two extremely important characters from two very different series, I'm sorry to tell you that is not going to happen.
No.
And the only reason I'm pretty firm on that is because this is where my marketing brain comes in. From a marketing standpoint, Sarah is traditionally published, and there is no way Bloomsbury is going to let Sarah pair two extremely important canonical characters in 2 different series together because it's going to be confusing to readers who have never read one of the series.
And that's what she said in the article she most recently dropped, is that she wants people who are reading Crescent City to be able to not have read any of Acotar and still understand what's going on with Bryce.
Yeah. I don't know how you...
She's going to put Easter eggs in there for her Acotar readers.
If anyone has read Hosab and doesn't know what happened in the last chapter, like literally has no context to who Rhysand is, I would love to sit down and talk with you because
Honestly,
because I'm very curious to hear what they think of it, because there's no way at this point they don't know who, like vaguely who Rhys is. Okay. So no. Now going into the Valk being Princes of Hell. Do you think now, I think you and I both have similar thoughts on this. Do you think the Valk could be Princes of Hell? Yes or no?
No.
But do you think the Valk are tied to Hell?
Yes.
Yeah. So Avery and I both don't think that the Valk are the Princes of Hell, but we do think they could potentially be tied to a realm of Hell.
Correct.
So, okay. I answered.
I look at Lucy. No. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Did y'all know Orris in Silver Flames that Rhys has, how do you say that word? Orrery? Orrery?
The orrery? Yeah.
I did say that right.
The planetarium
is the same as the one as the astronomer in Hosab.
It's also the same as the one the Autumn King has in his office, and it's also the same as the one that is on the rocks around the harp in the prison. Yeah, we noticed.
It's actually brought up to the point that I think before, because at this point Sky and Breath had not come out, and Avery and I were doing a reread of Earth and Blood, and we had both just finished. Well, Avery rereads Silver Flames way more than I do, but I tend to skip around in Silver Flames, and I have reread the chapter at the beginning of Silver Flames where Rhys is looking at his big planetarium situation, and Cassian literally goes, he tried to explain it to me once and I didn't care and walked away. Cassian.
First of all, Cassian. Second of all, does anybody want to guess how many times I read Silver Flames?
We've talked about it. I mean, I think the thing is it's like he didn't Cassian, like, please pay attention.
I love him.
But both of us did call out the fact that the two matched because we had read them so close together that this is the weird thing about sometimes when you skip around and read, you will notice things. For instance, I was skipping around and reading things in Earth and Blood, and I noticed pretty quickly that Hunt's father is most likely a Prince of Hell, and I could pinpoint the evidence, and it still connects in Sky and Breath. So there are quite a few things. Okay. All right. What is your favorite theory, Avery?
You know what my favorite? Well, okay. I have
a favorite theory that has not been confirmed.
Okay. I have 2 that are tied.
Okay. I have 1.
One is crossover, one is series specific.
Okay.
So, crossover, it's the Dusk Court theory that I'm working on.
Good pick.
I have lots of thoughts on the Dusk Court.
Okay.
So, that'll be a thing that we talk about at some point.
Yeah.
Series specific, I refuse to call it a theory, as in Gwen. I'm seeing that in the chat. That's not a theory. That's reality in my head.
Yeah.
But Gwen being a light singer and that not making her like evil or a bad thing, that's my favorite series specific theory that I have.
Avery's had that theory for a very long time.
It's right here.
Like Avery's had that theory.
It's this one.
Avery has had that theory probably around the time that Silver Flames came out.
Yeah, and then I do a lot of really good guessing, so I have like an old folded up note that I had stapled together of all of my guesses for what was going to happen in Silver Flames, and I had 10 guesses and 7 of them were correct.
Yeah, I tend to yeah. Avery's pretty good. I tend to guess, but I do vague guessing. Like, I'm like the type of person that when you play roulette, I will pick black or red. I won't pick a number.
So just to answer, because there's a question about whether or not light singers are starborn.
Oh yeah, go for it.
Light singers are a creature that lives in the middle, that are brought up in silver flames, and they are lovely ethereal beings who will lure you, appearing as friendly faces when you are lost. Only when you're in their arms will you see their true faces. They aren't fair at all. The horror of it is the last thing you see before they drown you in the bog. So they are related to in kind to the Kelpie that nearly drowned Nesta.
Mm-hmm.
And so Gwen is a quarter river nymph. So that's kind of where that theory comes from, is that she has this ethereal glow when she sings. Mm-hmm. She has these big eyes. And then when you do a lot of research into nymphs as femme fatales and how that works, you find that nymphs are not the same thing as sirens. And I think that's where a lot of the confusion comes in. So that's kind of where that theory kind of spirals out of control. But I will get into Sarah, and I can do like a light singer theory something at some point. So.
Yeah.
But that's the gist.
My favorite theory is that Rune's gonna kill the Asteri.
Yes, that's such a good theory.
I think, yeah. So for those of you that don't know, the Oracle tells Rune that the royal bloodline shall end with you, Prince. And I think that was a direct reference to the Asteri, not him or the Fae bloodline. I think it's Rune. Also because canonically Sarah doesn't make the main character do the killing blow. For instance, in Acotar, it was Elena and Nesta. For Highburn, for Throne of Glass, it was Irene.
And Fenris for Maeve.
And Fenris for Maeve. So I think it might be Rune for
the Asteri.
For the Asteri. And he will do it for his mate, Lydia. So, but I'm trying to think, my favorite crossover theory. I mean, I really think I have to say it at least once.
I know.
I really think we're going to go to Terrace.
I swear to God.
I swear to God, if we don't go to Terrace, I'm going to lose it. And I mean that, like, not just because I really want to go to Terrace, because we all know I do. It canonically makes sense for us to go to Terrace.
Right.
It just does. So, if it doesn't happen, I will be fine. Mm-hmm. If it does happen,
won't be fine.
If it does happen, it will I won't be fine. So there we go. Okay. What do you believe is the difference between a canon, non-canon, or crack theory?
Okay, so canon compliant theories are canon theories that have text evidence that will back them up and are most likely to come to fruition. Non-canon theories are theories that can have text evidence to lend support, but may or may not come to fruition. I would consider my Lightsinger theory a non-canon theory.
Yes.
Because there's nothing that says that Gwen is related to a Lightsinger in any way.
So, as an example, to give an example,
crack theory is Briariel.
Yeah. So let me just give an example. So, a canon theory, before the release of Sky and Breath, mm-hmm. Gwydion, the Star Sword, mm-hmm. all of that. That is a canon theory because there was textual evidence. Avery found it. There is textual evidence that had potential. So that was a canon theory because it was clear. If you counted the stars right, it made sense. Mm-hmm. A non-canon theory means it just hasn't been fully confirmed. So a non-canon theory for me is Apollyon is Hunt's father because there is textual evidence that proves it could be him.
Right.
It got even more into, so like a good example of a non-canon theory. I had that theory that Apollyon was Hunt's father when I read Earth and Blood. Sky and Breath came out, and it continued to make sense. Mm-hmm. So now that is a little stronger, closer to canon, but it is not fully confirmed. So we can't say that.
Right.
Okay. Another example.
Canon theory needs very, very strong contextual evidence that it's almost like you're like, okay, she could actually do this.
Yeah.
If she wanted to.
Yeah. Another example of a non-canon theory, because it is non-canon at this point, is Asriel's endgame. So saying Elriel is canon is not wrong. True. It's non-canon, just like saying Gwynriel is canon because it is non-canon. So both, however, there is textual evidence for both of those.
Correct.
That they could potentially happen.
Yeah.
Just like Illusion is still non-canon.
It is a non-canon endgame, but it has a stronger lean. So it is on its way to canon is what I would consider it.
Yes.
Because they are mated and there is that going on.
Now, where you get crack theories, I think there's two types of crack theories. There are ones like Rhys's last name is Moonbeam, which makes no sense, and that's probably the farthest you can get in the crazy crack theory corner. Sure. I sometimes like to hang out there because it's fun, okay?
Yeah. There
are other crack theories where you are cherry-picking information to make your theory work. An example of something like that is popular. Bryce and Hunt are not mates. They are Caranam. That was a very popular one when Hosap came out because of the whole true mates thing. Mm-hmm. Contextually, that doesn't make sense because if you look at Throne of Glass and you look at the canon text of what a Caranam bond is between Rowan and Aelin to make it active, there is one thing they always have to do, and that is cut their hands and their blood has to touch. Bryce and Hunt never did that. So that's not canon, okay? No. It is currently canon that Bryce and Hunt are mates.
Yes.
End of discussion. Currently canon. Mm-hmm. You going beyond that, making your own assumptions beyond that is now crack theories.
Yeah.
Okay. Another example of a crack theory, anything to do with Maeve and Rhys being related. That canonically does not make sense. You are cherry picking information to make it work, but it doesn't make sense when you actually sit down with the text. It's the same thing as saying a great example of a non-canon crack theory is, or I would say it's like leans non-canon almost in the crack theory, is saying anything to do with the Daglin and the Asteri being the same thing.
Yeah.
Non-canon crack theory corner.
Yes. That's the mid-range between crack and non-canon.
There's nothing wrong with living in the crack theory corner. It's great. It's a lot of fun. I've had some great time there. But saying things are canon and when you're actually cherry picking information is incorrect.
Correct.
If I were to pull a text and say, well, what about this?
If I can disprove you with textual evidence, it's not canon.
Mm-hmm. That's cool. It would be interesting if Bryce and Asriel were Caranam, not mates. That would be fascinating.
Listen, I think she's going to have to do something with Uno reversing those siphons, so.
Yeah. Okay. Moving on. What if Gavin was a Prince of Hell?
No.
He is human, so I don't think so. That's why. Do we think Erewhon's brothers are looking for him? Maybe.
I don't think I don't think they care.
I don't think they do either. I don't think it's a priority.
Yeah.
That's the vibe we get. Okay. Is there a possibility that Regulus and Adis being the same person? No. Based off of the last few chapters of Hosab, I highly, highly doubt that. Are we thinking multiverse theory or time travel?
Multiverse.
I would agree. Multiverse, not time travel.
I think there's multiverse with space-time jumping.
Yeah.
Via the harp. But that's it?
Yeah. 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 Okay. In Silver Flames, I'm going to skip this one because it's about telling us to look something up. So we'll look it up. Okay. In Silver Flames, do you think Emery's wings got fixed when she touched the stone at the end of the trials? That's interesting.
That's interesting. I don't think so.
I don't think so either, only because
we have an interaction with Emery and Gwen at the after, and I feel like that would be something that was pointed out.
Yes, I would agree. Do we think Maeve could have traveled through the worlds pre 15,000 years? No. Yes. Oh no, yes. I don't think so.
I think so.
Only because based off of the text, it indicates that she tried multiple times, but it didn't work, and the one time it did work, she got to Aurelia.
Fair.
Vague. Okay.
That's the problem.
Yeah. Could the Asteri be the Death Maidens of the Valk? No. Based off of textual evidence, the Death Maidens were the Death Maidens, aka the Handmaidens, I'm assuming that's what you're talking about, or anything tied to the Valk, is definitely a lower being than the Asteri. Other way around, I would agree. I think it's, yeah. The Asteri could be somewhat, I think the Asteri are either creations of hell or they're creations of, or I'm sorry, I think the Valk are either creations of hell or creations of the Asteri. So, question. I think tying anything to the Asteri, tying the Asteri and the Valk together is very vague. The only thing we can say is they might have some sort of relation in the same way that the Illyrians might have some relation to the Asteri, in the same way that the angels have a relationship with the Asteri. I think assuming anything else with the Valk, if you actually, I mean, I hate to get into power levels and I'm not going to, but I'm just going to say, based off of textual evidence, the Valk are a lesser being from the Asteri.
I would agree.
So, okay. So I think that the horn in CC is the fourth death trove. And that is the case when Bryce may need to help Nesta and the Inner Circle to defeat Koschei.
Okay. Can I take this one?
Yeah.
Okay. So yes, I'm on board with the theory that the horn is a part of the Dread Trove.
We both think that.
Because when they speak about the crossing and Queen Thea, they took sacred objects with them, the horn and the star sword.
They also say that the object Nesta couldn't see was made of bone, and traditionally horns were made of bone.
Horns are made of bone, correct. So yes to that. Bryce is not going to play a major role in the war against Koschei and Acotar.
Yeah. So Koschei is obviously something that Acotar fans, like, think about it this way. Koschei is like a pillar with Acotar that people are waiting for. Within CC3, that is too much of a canon situation for Acotar that would mess with Acotar readers.
We also have to take into account, again, that anyone reading CC3 needs a vague understanding of who these Acotar people are, but should still be able to read the book without having to go and read all of Acotar.
And vice versa. That's the point. When the next Acotar book comes out, you don't want readers to go, what the hell, what did I miss?
Exactly. So everything that is done is going to be in service to Crescent City 3. And it might be brought up in Acotar 5 as like we went on a choose your own adventure for like a hot second.
Similar to, and I like to bring it up because it's a great example, the deleted scene in Airfire. You don't have to read the deleted scene in Airfire to get context. However,
it just makes it better.
It makes it better because you know the context of Aelin and the Nightgown. And you also know the context of Asar when she helps rescue Aelin through Illy. All of that makes way more sense when you read the deleted scene, but you don't need to read it to understand the story.
I don't think that they will need the horn to defeat Koschei.
No, I think that horn is in Bryce and it's not leaving.
Yeah, I think the horn has been taken out of play. Would it have been nice to be able to have the fourth?
Yeah,
I'm sure, but I think mainly it is in service to CC3.
And I will tell you too, I think the horn is not, we haven't actually seen it in action.
No, except for in a brief flashback with Prince Peleus.
And obviously with what Micah had done in Earth and Blood, we haven't
Correct.
seen it in action. I mean, even with the actions that happened in Sky and Breath at the end, she went through a word gate. She did not go through using the horn. So, okay. Do we have a theory on why Jezebel defected from the witches? Do you have a theory on that? Because I don't.
I don't have a theory right now. I do think that Jezebel and Meryl are described very similarly, so I've been working on some form of connection there.
Yeah.
But I have not touched anything about why she may have left the witches.
Okay. I have 4 more.
There's one in the
I know, I see that.
YouTube chat.
I'll get that.
Okay.
I have someone added one, but I'll do it. We'll save the last one for fun. Okay. Do you think Hunt and Cassian have the same father?
No.
I don't think so either. Okay.
Okay, so hold on, just briefly. Cassian is a full-blooded Illyrian.
Yes.
Asriel is a full-blooded Illyrian.
Okay.
He is not half Illyrian.
Right, but the idea would be that Hunt would be half Illyrian.
I know. And that's fine. I'm just saying there are a lot of theories out there saying that Asriel's kid won't have wings or whatever because he's half Illyrian. That's wrong. I just felt like the need to just say that really quick.
That's no. Well, in Cass and let's use Cass because we know he's mated with Nesta. There's a possibility their children may not have wings because Nesta doesn't have wings, but it has nothing to do with Cass's genealogy.
Right. So Nesta has, first of all, changed her body, so she should be able to have a kid with wings.
Right.
And number 2, the reality of the situation is that Rhysand is half Illyrian and doesn't have wings, but his wings can appear.
Right.
Look at the bitch.
I know. I see her.
Rhysand's sister had wings.
She did.
So that does not mean that a person who would then make a half Illyrian, that Illyrian wouldn't have wings.
But the point is, Asriel and Cassian are full.
Yes. Okay. Sorry. I just needed to say that because I've seen way too many theories saying that he's half.
That's incorrect. Okay. Someone talked about Gwen and Ianthe being full.
I'm sorry. What?
Foils?
Foils.
Thank you.
Character foils.
Thank you. Ianthe was the youngest to become a high priestess. I want Gwen to become the new youngest high priestess.
That's fine.
Yeah.
I'm good with it.
Yeah.
So reminders of character foils is they go through a similar journey, but it's the opposite personality.
Oh, thank you. I was like, I have no idea what that means. Okay. When do you think Lucian will find out about his real father?
Acotar 5.
Yeah, it's gonna be whatever book is centric around Elena Lucian. Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Thoughts on who?
Or Gwen? It's gonna come towards the end of something so that we have an entire book to explore.
Yeah. Thoughts on who Gwen's father is?
So I have no thoughts on Gwen's father. I have thoughts on Gwen's grandfather.
When Silver Flames first came out, I loved the theory that it was Tamlin because I liked the tie of the mythology of Tamlin. And I thought a great redemption arc for him would be having familial love, not romantic love. So I liked the idea of it being Gwen. However, after rereading things, it doesn't make sense. So I don't have any particular opinions on who the father is.
I don't have particular opinions on who the father is. There are several people who are involved in the Great Rite that could potentially be her father.
Yeah, but we'll the
High Fae of the Autumn Court thing. I think if she's related to the Van Sarahs at all, it is through Baron.
Yeah.
And it is as her grandfather.
Yeah. Okay. Who would win in a fight? The Throne of Glass crew or the Acotar crew? We're going to have different opinions on this.
We always do.
it would be close. I'll say
it
that
would be
much.
very close. Here's the thing. Rowan and Lorcan and the cadre are warriors. So is Aelin. They've all fought in this major battle. Cassian and Azriel and Rhys and Lucian are warriors. They are going to look at a battle between themselves.
Yeah, exactly.
And try to solve things diplomatically. And they're going to use Lucian and somebody from Throne of Glass that's got a diplomatic mind to do it.
It'll actually be Rowan.
There you go.
It's what's funny about it too is in my opinion, if magic is not involved, wings are not involved, everything has to be like Great Right style. Throne of Glass would kick ass. Okay. However, if you involve magic, it would probably go to Acotar, but it would be damn close.
And the only reason I could foresee it going to Acotar over, the fact that like Rowan can choke off your air supply and stuff is that just because Cassian's choking out doesn't mean he can't like Illyrian raw magic, death blow, killing power, blast you into a rock.
Yeah. I will say this, that's the one thing that irritates me about this argument, and this isn't like looking at the whole crew, is I think because Sarah really emphasized the fact how powerful Rhys was, people forget that Rowan is like stupid powerful.
Yeah.
And so it is something that I want to make it very clear, like if Rowan fought Rhys, I don't know if Rowan would win, but I give you a good fucking guess, excuse my language, that Rowan would put up a good fight. That's all I'm gonna say.
Okay. Somebody said Lucian and Fenris just trying to talk peace, and I have never wanted a scene more.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. All right. Last two, and then I'll do the ones in the comments. Do you think Truth Teller is meant to be with Rune, and the Gwydion is supposed to be with Bryce?
No,
I think it's the opposite.
I think Truth Teller is going to Lunathian.
Yeah.
Azriel's given it up. And I think Bryce doesn't want to lug a huge sword around. She's already got Danica. She's good. So
yeah,
I think
she'll take the dagger.
Takes Truth Teller and Rune gets the sword back.
I would agree. Okay. Do you think the amulet that Bryce wears,
the Archesian amulet,
is tied in connection to the Archerons?
Could be.
Maybe, but I mean the Archerons definitely have human roots.
That's crack theory.
Yeah, it would be cool. Okay, someone said I saw it earlier and I just want to bring it up before I like totally forget, because I saw it and just waited for the right moment.
Yeah.
Aelin pregnant. You guys have no idea how much I want that.
idea.
This is my personal opinion. This is like my little crack theory / like could be non-canon technically. I think Bryce is going to go through the worlds. I think she's going to end up in Aurelia. I think Aelin is going to be pregnant. And I think she's going to say, I'm trying to get to hell, because, spoiler alert, most people in Aurelia can communicate with Bryce because most people know the old language of the Fae. Fae-wise, meaning the cadre, Lorcan, all of them. They all know it. Okay.
Aelin's like, you said the cadre and then Lorcan, as if he's not a part of the cadre.
It's questionable some days. He's in and out. You know what I mean? I feel like that would be accurate for them,
Oh my god. The cadre and Lorcan.
But you know what I mean? I feel like some days they're like, yeah, you're in, and some days Fenris is like, nope, cadre and Lorcan. Like I think it depends on the day.
No, no. You know they call him Lord Lorcan Locken.
Yeah, they have the triple L's. No, but I think what's gonna happen is she's gonna end up there. Bryce is gonna explain that she needs to go to hell. Aelin's gonna be like, I'll go, and Rowan's gonna be like, no, why don't you just open it and let the girl through and stay here? And then that's what's gonna happen. Yeah. Because if there's one thing I love, and it is Rowan's trauma, and there is one thing that is very traumatic to Rowan, and it is the fact that he left his mate pregnant. So he's not gonna let anything happen to Aelin when she's pregnant. Nothing. Aelin is going to have to sit on her ass and deal with it, because Rowan is not gonna let it slide.
No.
So, okay. That was everything.
That was everything.
Okay. quick wrap-ups. Tomorrow I'm streaming Hogwarts Legacy.
I am not doing anything with that.
Avery is not doing anything with that. For no reason other than Avery's going to be doing
Avery
her own
doesn't
stuff.
game.
Avery doesn't know how to play video games, okay? You can choose to watch or not. That's all I'm going to say about it. We both love Harry Potter, though. I will say that.
No, I love Harry Potter.
Avery's my designated Hufflepuff. I am the
Emotional
Slytherin.
support Hufflepuff.
I am the... Oh, CC3 releases.
November of this year or through February of next year.
I'm in the same boat. So just in case anyone's wondering. Which channel are you playing? I will be playing it here. We're going to vote starting tomorrow on which house you want me to go through, because on my PS5 I'm doing Slytherin. I don't care which house we do. Just please don't make it Gryffindor, because that's like the default and I don't want to do Gryffindor. Okay?
Hufflepuff.
Okay, I will tell you I'm having the best time of my life, so you guys are going to enjoy the absolute chaos. We are also playing it on the easiest mode possible, because I'm not one of those gamers. I just want to enjoy myself. Okay?
Rise and switch.
yeah, exactly. Avery, I'm going to get her into gaming, but I told her she has to finish the Mass Read Along before we do it, because we don't have time for both of us to be
This is what I do for you people.
Yeah, so the voting will start tomorrow. I secretly want you guys to pick Hufflepuff because that has the Azkaban quest, okay? I just want to make that known.
Hufflepuffs are particularly good finders.
Yeah. Also, if you're a Harry Potter fan, this thing's going to be wild. But I have a friend that's not a Harry Potter fan and he's loving it. So, we're going to play in Hogwarts Legacy tomorrow at 8. It might be more. I might actually go ahead and just move it to 9.
Amanda, why are you hating on Hufflepuff?
Because she doesn't want me to just pick Hufflepuff. She's demanding that we vote.
Amanda, I want her to play Hufflepuff.
The Hufflepuff house is the common room is adorable too. So,
listen, the fact that you tap on wine barrels to get into it is just like a fucking mood.
Oh, she doesn't want me to play it, so then she doesn't want to watch.
Fine, Ravenclaw.
I don't want. My mom's Ravenclaw. I don't want to do.
Oh my god. Okay, then fine. Your other option is Gryffindor, Sarah.
This is why I'm letting him vote. Cause I really like him. Also, we can just. I have an idea of what I want my character to look like, which I'm just gonna be honest, will not let it sway the house option, but it might sway the house option.
Ridiculous.
So let me think. Anything else? That we have other streams coming up. I can't. It's in the Discord.
Hold on, I've got it right here.
Oh yeah, maybe I should.
I've got it right here.
What do we got coming? Hold on, let me look.
Okay, so Hogwarts Legacy is tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
And then Smutty Story Time coming up on Saturday with Alex
in Discord.
And then the Kingdom of Ash Listen Party is on the
Monday.
13th.
Oh, shoot. I'm going to have to move that. I forgot I had a Galentine's Day book club session. You guys, I'm in a work book club. I didn't read the book because it was a modern, boring thing.
Okay, well, we can't move it to the 14th, so.
I'll figure it out. I'll look at the calendar. Shoot.
Anyways, okay, then there's an Acotar live reaction.
Oh, yeah. Okay, let me explain that really quick.
Yeah,
so there's a girl on YouTube who made I Read Acotar So You Don't Have To, and she has all the characters like on like taped on a wall and she's just pointing. It's an hour long. I'm just going to watch it and like critique and laugh.
Okay. Anyways, then there's a Dreamlight Valley stream on the 17th.
Because of the new update.
Okay. And then there's a character building night on the 18th for D&D.
For Dungeons and Dragons, if you want to be part of the second campaign.
Then there's the Acotar playlist listen party on the 22nd.
I'll give you 2 guesses on what the first song is. It's the only one I have picked.
I know. I approved it. I feel like I should say that every time I give you that look.
Yeah.
A Court of Thorns and Roses live is February 24th.
Yeah, Jesus, there's a lot of people for that one.
Then 101. Galentine's Day gift exchange is on the 25th.
By the way, you need to sign up by this week. So sign up.
I'm not going to sign up unless you need me to sign up.
Yeah, we'll pull court members if we need to. The last thing I want to bring up before we totally end, there is a big announcement tomorrow in Discord. It's one you guys have been waiting for. That is happening, hopefully, if work isn't crazy. So,
the Gwenreal timeline is officially in the mass read along. You
Perfect.
can go view it.
Perfect. But I think that's it. So, thanks, Avery. Thanks for hanging out with me.
Anytime. Look at my red cheeks from my bag cap.
I'm proud of you. Oh, now I know why the music was so soft. I had it so low right here. Oops. All right. Well,
thanks for coming.
Anytime.
Okay.
Bye, friend.
I love you.